Hello, the following video is a recording from our second Artist Feedback AMA held within the MetaJungle Discord. This is a time that we get together and discuss as a community different things pertaining to an artist's collection. So it might be collection size, content, pricing, and just a great time to get feedback from those that are experienced in the space and those that are still learning. So we hope that you enjoy this discussion and find it valuable.
I think I'm going to talk about Emofarmer first because we missed her last week. So if she does join, if we could unmute her.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
Cool, thanks, Glenn.
Hey, sorry, are you talking to me?
Yeah, because I was gonna start with you first just because we missed you last week. Nice to have you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, totally. So it's 5 now, so I don't know if you guys want to wait a couple more minutes, see if we have some people that come in, see if we have some more people that come on in. Maybe we'll start at like 5:02.
Yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, 5:02. Let's just see if some more people start to kind of pile in.
Yeah.
You know, we always got the recording, right? You're gonna record this one, so.
Yeah, I started the recording, so we're
Very
good to
cool.
go.
Oh, sweet. See, VCO lack joined. Nice. First child we're talking about today, Russ Images. Probably talk about Russ Images second, the Emofarmer, just because I know he has to go at like 6 p.m.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you say you were talking to Russ Images first?
No, we'll
Oh, okay.
go over yours first, and then we'll do Russ.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So you've been photographing cattle farming. So you're a farmer basically?
Yeah, me and my husband take care of a cattle farm. The cattle is actually my dad's, but we live on the farm and take care of it.
Wow, okay, cool.
So
So
we've only
how
been doing it for about, almost 4 years now. So, yeah.
and so when did you decide that you wanted to take out your camera and start taking pictures of it?
Well, I've always loved photography. And I got my first camera when I was like 15 or 16. I got my first like Canon camera. So that's when I kind of started taking photos. And then I got married when I was 19 and moved away from the farm. I kind of started taking pictures of the cows though, like when I was probably 17 or 18. And then, yeah, I moved away. And then about a year later, my dad asked me and my husband to come back and take care of the farm. So that's what we did. And ever since, I've just kind of been, doing that. So,
And so it looks like you're saying that it helps your mental health, so like when you're out there with your camera. Well, I know when I'm out there with my camera, it's sort of like just me and the world and like all the thoughts that I have outside of everything else that, might be like anxiety inducing or something could kind of just sort of go away because you're taking the time to look through and make these compositions and get these photos. It's kind of like what people say with yoga, like they put themselves in these yoga poses, right? And those yoga poses are so difficult that they don't really have the time to think about all the other stuff that's going on, right? That might bother them.
yep. Yeah, that's definitely how it is for me. I really started struggling with my mental health a few years ago, actually, about like right after we moved to take care of the farm. Is kind of when it really got bad. And so I just kind of started using that as almost like a therapy. Like if I was having like a really horrible day, like couldn't get out of bed, like I would just tell myself I would feel better if I just drug myself out there and just like sat in the field with the cows for a while, and
Yeah.
snapping pictures of them and then like seeing how those photos turned out and like just the whole process has really helped me a lot.
That's awesome. So let's take a look at some of the photos.
Okay.
Because at first glance, I look at them, and some of the photos, like the first one, um, compared to the second one. So like the first shot, for instance, has more of a this up close. It has more of a fun feel to it. And then you look into the second one, it has more of like it feels a little bit more fine art, right? And then you go
Yeah.
into the third, and it's like a little bit more fun, goofy, head-on photo, and they're good photos and they're good compositions too, right? Kind of feels like almost two different stories. Oh, this one here is a bit different, right? Seems
Hmm.
a little bit more sad, a little more sad. And then you have, I think you posted the same one twice here. Doesn't matter, but
Yeah, that
um,
was an accident.
yeah, some really good colors and stuff, right? But we go from some like really saturated in color images like this one to some of these ones here that are a lot less saturated. I mean, I kind of lean a little bit more towards this photo. I think this photo is really beautiful. I love the expression. I love that you could see all the other cattle kind of grazing in the background, and it's almost that without this cattle in the front, it's almost like a black and white model. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful. It's really beautiful. So, at
Thank you.
first,
That means a
yeah.
lot coming from you.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, so at first glance here, it kind of feels like you need to shoot more, right? And
Yeah.
and and find out, which type of emotion you're trying to evoke here. But not only
Okay.
that, there's a lot of head-on stuff, right? There's a lot of head-on photos. I want to see, maybe how can you get a bird's eye view picture? Can you get on top of like the stable and shoot down and get a good landscape? Can you get some pictures of like human interaction with the cattle? Taking care of them, or maybe a few cattle laying down like grazing next to each other. Just an idea, just to try to open up the series a bit, and we could have more and more photographs, so we could build we could build a tight edit around a story. So when you say, do you think good enough to be sold as NFTs? Maybe a couple of these as like a one of one NFT. I don't think you're quite there yet to post a collection of images that speak to one full story. I would definitely shoot more in a documentary style way, and try to capture everything outside of just outside of the portraits of the cattle, like what all goes into it, like what do the supplies look like that to take care of them. I want maybe some still life pictures of the supplies, maybe some pictures, inside the shed where they go in for the night, maybe some pictures at night while they're in there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. So just, yeah, I would say just, keep shooting. If it makes you feel good, absolutely keep shooting. But I do um, totally see potential in this stuff. So I
Okay.
appreciate you being vulnerable and coming up here and talking about mental health. It's not an easy thing to do. I think vulnerability is a really big part of being an artist, and I think there's a lot of the greatest artists have gone through, some of the toughest hardships. So yeah, keep shooting and keep working at it. I'm looking forward to see more of what you're gonna bring.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course, you got it. Did anyone have any questions about any of that? Because I can't switch back and forth to the chats or anything, or if not, then I'll move over to Russ, the Lampman series. So you got Russ. He's doing Lampman iterations here, and I really liked what it's about and some of the stuff that he says here. Lampman iterations start off as a project fighting boredom. Sometimes all of our projects start off like that. We don't have to always have an idea about what the project's going to be about, and sometimes it just kind of turns into something. So, but turned into a metaphor for dispelling the darkness by turning on the lamp inside all of us. The collection represents how people can put on different fronts, right? A lot of people put on different masks. lamp heads. We all desire to be different, yet we all want to be lit up. My goal with this collection is to show a different side of Lamp Man. I'm like caged and uncaged, talking to each other. Each piece is one. And is Lamp Man on? Does he have his is he unmuted? So I see. It's gonna,
Yes, I see him.
yes. Okay, so 15 pieces. So it's a goal is to grow the collection to 15 pieces. But right now it looks like there's 16 pieces. So you might want to update your description there.
Yeah, I do need to do that.
Okay, yeah, so update your description. The final 3 will be announced and dropped at the same time. Yeah, so I guess update this last piece here. I went through and I looked at some of them, and there's some of them that really stand out to me, and then there's other ones that just didn't really do it for me. And I pulled up the ones that did in Adobe Bridge here. Going to let me find you here. Adobe Bridge is really cool, guys. If you want to be able to just like move around images and put them next to each other to kind of story tell. Laminate iterations here, and it's four of the images actually. So it seems like
ones that stood out.
Yeah, these are the ones that really stood out to me, and you might find that they're the ones that you might feel the strongest too. Something I really liked about this one, it felt very strange. I like how you illuminate it. It looks like you illuminated it from the inside. Either there's a light inside there, or you created that in post processing. I don't care about the process, but it's very strange, and I there's something I really like about it. It's a really mysterious photograph. I didn't read the description on it. You have something behind it?
So originally I was just shooting with the lamps on my head, and then when I came up with like what I want the story to be about, I thought like, well, the first step would be lighting up your lamp, and then after that, taking it off. So I had this lamp shot, and then I was like, okay, so I want to light this up. So I got to figure out how to do that. And I didn't want it to be in post-processing. Like I didn't want to have to light it up. So I did actually put a just an LED panel light in there.
Smart. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, and it was a pain. It kept falling off my head. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to hold this forward and shoot it that way instead of having to put it on my head and light up that way. But I kind of came up with a story of this guy. He wants.
It looks like a creature. It looks like a creature.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a horse.
Yeah, a horseman or creature or something. That's what I was really intrigued by it.
So my kind of story for him is that he wants others to light up their lamp, so he points his light at the others.
Oh wow! And did you write this in the description?
I think so.
I didn't have. I mean, I didn't have time. I didn't have time to go over every description. There was like so many submissions this week, and just fishing. Right. I had to fish through all the submissions, and it was a lot from on the plane to getting home this morning.
Yes,
so
I
did. If not me. Okay, so you did. So good. Yep. Good. That's great. So I'll move on to the next one here. Check it out. This one I really love too because I didn't know at first when I first saw it, like, why is this so strange? But then I realized, like, the inside the picture frame, the man is smaller than the man that's holding the picture frame. So it created like these two worlds and these two dimensions. And I love the lamp on the head. It's just like perfect, like Raiden almost from Mortal Kombat. Right. And it just it's really peculiar and dreamy, and it really makes me want to think about something and makes me want to relook at the image. So I thought this one was really great too. You have a concept behind that one?
This is where I kind of struggle. I'm not sure exactly the best, like, how to explain the kind of reality bending of it. But the one thought I had was like, maybe this one really just wants to up the ante a little bit on who he is, so he puts himself in a beautiful frame to show off.
That's perfectly said. He wants to up the ante a bit on who he is, and and even the idea that the man that's in the frame is almost like not even the man anymore that's holding the frame is a new layer in itself of hiding who you are, right?
Mhm.
So I really like that one as well. This one was really cool too, from just like a compositional standpoint, and the gold and just the strings hanging down. It feels, I don't know the word. I don't know what the word for it is, but I was really drawn to this one as well. Is this one of the first ones you've done?
Yeah, so this is actually the first one. Um,
Mm.
Yep, it's the first one that inspired the rest. It was like, I have this random lampshade. I'm gonna put it on my head.
Yeah, and it looks like half the lampshade is red on the right side. That's nice too.
I think that was more or less a post-processing thing in my color grading.
Okay.
That lamp doesn't have red on it technically, and I didn't have any red lights, but yeah.
And have you tried to maybe go, I notice a lot of these are like right in your house, right? You can see them there. There's like your door there. Have you tried to like maybe go out in nature and do some of these? Because I think that could bring a whole new element to your series.
So my original idea was just have all these uh, in-house, just because a lot of it is like um, you're struggling to find your identity.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about doing a part 2 if these ones sold, where it would be like a lamp family. So just get people to pose with me, and then maybe do some of that outdoors.
Sure. So let's see the next one. I thought this one was kind of funny. I think mainly because of the title. It said like Lampman has a date, and you actually went as far as putting flowers in the top of the lamp head. I love the patterns in the lampshade. It's an interesting one to me as well. And then let's go and see. Look at them all as a whole. So I don't, me personally, I mean, maybe it's just me. I'm a little bit nitpicky. I don't like a series when it has black and white mixed in with the color. I mean, unless that you could, I feel like some people can do this and they can make a way for it to work. It looks like the one you sold is black and white though, and I do like the movement that you're showing here. This is really cool. Yeah, and I would have added this one to that as well, but it's just weird that it's black and white and the other's color. But I can see how black and white lends to this type of creepy sort of insanity that it looks like is going on here.
Right.
Right? So that's nice.
Yeah, I can't remember why I added black and white. I think it just looked better than the color grade I had originally, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, black and white maybe just lends itself better to what you're trying to show here. But I think, I think you got to just keep experimenting, like with this one, like with the one there where you put the LED light in there. But I don't think that you need to have a family of lamp people to explore outdoors. I think you could, I think you could start exploring because these are all self portraits, right? It's not easy to make self portraits, right? Because you can't even see. You can't really, you can't really, you're setting up a tripod, I assume, and then you're just jumping into the composition and just hoping that what you get on the end is going to be what you imagined in your head. So interesting on this. Just I don't know. For me, a little bit too. I guess I don't know if the word is like try hard or feel or photoshopped or something for my own taste. Now I want everyone to remember that like I'm one opinion, I'm one opinion.
Right.
So like the ones that I picked is like are the ones that resonated with me, and these first two were the most. I just think that they're just really well executed with composition and storytelling and creativity, like where you actually lit this with an LED, you went above and beyond to frame yourself within a frame, and it really worked. The orange sleeves really bring out this new this this vibrancy with an image that's pretty much monotone for the most part. You bring out this beautiful saturation with the orange here. So yeah, I mean that's what I have. That's mostly what I have for you. I
So
think keep experimenting and keep shooting, and I don't think you have to have 16 items in this series right now. Maybe pick your obviously keep the one in there that's already bought, and
right.
because you can't take away the one that's bought, and so and maybe narrow it down so that you can get some more sales, right? So you only have one sold. So if I mean this is sort of a tactic that I did where I've narrowed my series down to a much smaller series, and then once collectors start to see that you know three of them sold and there's only three left, it starts to be like, oh well, is
Right.
this guy going to sell out? And then when it does sell out, that's kind of when your floor prices go up, because then other people start making offers to those people on the images that have already sold, and those people are going to want more than what they paid for. So I think it's
Right.
smart to get a sold out series.
Do you have like maybe a sweet spot for something like this? Like how many images? Or is it just a personal preference?
I mean, I don't know that there's a sweet spot for anything. Like me personally,
Right.
I'm having good luck with 6 images
Mm-hmm.
in a series, and then if you want to go to like lamp, the Lampman iterations 2, then you can do that. But then at least the collector feels like, ooh, I got in on Lampman iterations 1.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So you don't have to kind of just put all your stuff in one space. I learned that has helped me. So
Okay.
yeah, but that's all I got. If you have any other questions, or if anyone from the audience does.
I don't think I do, but go ahead. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no questions yet, Mike, but can I just say something about this collection? Because this one, I don't know, it kind of spoke to me, and I really like the quirky nature of this collection, and I also like the mysterious like aspect of some of these pictures. So I kind of like the ones where he's uh not fully showing his face. I think it fits in with the collection more. And but yeah, I kind of want to see where this can go. Like how quirky can you get with it? How far can you take it? And I just think it's
far.
I just think it's really interesting and something that I would have never thought of.
I have in my house like 7 lamps that I never would have bought if it wasn't for this collection, so I can definitely take it far.
But yeah, that's just my input that I noticed.
Thank you. What do you have, Alpha?
Alpha's mic was echoing a bit there before. You good now?
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
I believe this set's going to do amazing. It's just a matter of getting the right people seeing it, because it's an incredible set. And I also had the privilege of hearing the interview you did with Emma and Jaden on their show a couple of days ago. That it hasn't released yet, but I was really impressed by the entire thing, and by your willingness to help other people. And so I'm happy to be supporting you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
That's a big part of it, right? Is your willingness to support other people in this space, and that's something that in Miami was drilled in from every single person at any NFT event that I went to, was that people didn't start doing well until they started helping and supporting other people in the space, and that's just how Web3 seems to be. So if you have the good content, if you're good to people, if you put in the work, then everyone is going to make it and everyone's going to do well here.
By the way,
awesome.
Alpha, you were muted on my side for some reason, so if I was cutting you off, I'm sorry.
No, he was good. He was good. Cool. So if no other connections on Lampman, then we'll I'd like to move on to Curious Bunch. You guys can hear me still?
I just want to say thanks before I get off.
Sure.
This was awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Please keep shooting and please keep being experimental and show us what you got, man. We're all in the chat, we're all paying attention, and we want to see where you're gonna go with it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
No problem. All right, so we have Curious Bunch. Do we have the artist online with us today? Let's see here. It's in the chat. Everybody's names are written. That's Ashiq, Ashiq. Is he here? And if not, that's fine. We're still gonna talk. We'll still talk about the work. So, really interesting story. This Curious Bunch, because he's from this. He's from the town. I just gonna read this Curious Bunch set of 31 of one photographs telling the story of curiosity of life of villagers from Golangat, Assam. I don't know if I said that right. That's northeast India. Um, and in 2017, a motocross race was organized in the plantation in the day, clubbed with music shows at night, 3-day affair. And it seems like a lot of the villagers couldn't even afford to buy a ticket into the race to see it, which is beyond me. Because how much can a ticket cost to go to this little motocross event here? And it just it makes you really feel privileged from being me especially being from the United States, where something like this is not and a luxury like that, where these people would not be able to afford the tickets to just go see this. And so it looks like this whole series is about these people curious about this race that's going on. And I looked through the series, and like I said, very interesting, but lots of repeat images here that I think needed a really tight edit to tell the story. And my favorite image of all was this one here, the vertical of these kids in a tree. I thought this was so beautiful of them looking in. This is the best shot in the series. But when I narrowed it down to what I thought was something that would be good storytelling, I'll show you here in Bridge. Curious Bunch. And the photos are kind of small here. I think it's because this resolution was low. But I narrowed it down to about 6 images, and you can put a couple more in there, but you need an opening image, right? You need an opening to your image to tell a story, and you need a closing image to tell a story. I like to look at it as a movie, right? You want to open with something that makes sense to the story. The middle pieces want to make sense to the middle of the film, and in the end, you want to end on that last line. So these are the ones that I chose here. The reason I didn't chose that one that was my favorite was because it was the only vertical in the set. And maybe he chooses that one instead of this one. I do think the vertical is stronger than this one, but I don't think it takes 30 images or so to tell this story, right? So maybe it's not 6 images either. Maybe it's 8, but I do think it's a really interesting story. I do think we do have some strong shots here, and I would have loved to hear from the artist if he was online, but maybe we'll be able to hear from him later in the week. So, does anyone else want to talk about the series? And if not, you can take a look at, let's see, he hasn't sold any. So let's take a look at his Twitter. So the foundation. No, like the biggest thing is I think that he needs to heavily edit down, and like I've talked about in the past AMAs, the importance of joining chat spaces and talking about your work, and showcasing other artists and just really communicating on Twitter. I've noticed the greatest amount of engagement and responses that I've had recently is really by quote retweeting other artists and going that extra step to talk about their work and how their work makes me feel, and just general conversation on Twitter as well. I think like Instagram is more for the image, and Twitter is a lot about the communication, right? So if you guys are outside of being good photographers, if you're good writers as well, then put your thoughts on Twitter. And I noticed that if I put some good thoughts on Twitter, I don't even have to put any hashtags or anything like that, and my friends will just start retweeting it, and then it just starts this chain reaction. So we don't always need to showcase our. It's good to have our own work in the pinned tweet, but we don't always have to showcase our own work, because if we're always pushing our own work out there, then people, it starts to look like advertising. And like we talked about last time, best marketing is through just building relationships and communicating with people in the community, and helping with this. He's not here, but that's what I had on this series. So we'll move to if no one has any questions.
Hey, Mike. Before we move, this is Jaden. I just have a question. I really like what you said about how you think that the pictures can tell a story. But do you think that you need to tell that story in the description, or if you choose the right pictures, it tells the story itself?
Well, I mean, I think that within a series, within a great collection of images, every photo on its own should be great and should be able to tell its own story. And then if it's within a collection, that it should be able to tell a similar story as a collection as a whole. So, but I do think that if you're a good writer, and you can write an artist statement, or maybe
That makes sense.
yeah, maybe you're a good poet and you can add poetry in there, as long as it helps the body of work and doesn't hurt the body of work, then I think all these different elements are just new layers to help support your work and show collectors that you're invested as an artist in your work, because you're writing about it, you're taking the time to edit down your storytelling, and it's going to make you seem more collectible, for sure. They're going to have a more personal relationship to your story, and they might even want to DM you and talk to you about it as well. So I'd be prepared for DMs as well. Talk about your work.
Mike, this is Alpha. I just wanted to throw something in there too. In Web 2, the entire internet, everything is about content, and it's been that way for 20 plus years. There's a saying, content is king. And in Web 3, it will eventually be the same. And so as an artist, you're trying to market yourself, you're trying to set yourself out apart as somebody that's different, and you want your art to be found. And that's the thing, it has to be found to be exposed. And as the software and the marketplace systems becomes more sophisticated, I keep talking about this, the filtering search mechanisms are going to become a huge part of the marketplace process. And so by using the ability to talk about that photo, you're going to be able to be seen in you're going to be found a lot easier. So you're going to get a lot more exposure, because people are going to start searching for things. They're going to be searching for certain subjects. And at this point, AI is pretty sophisticated, but it's still it's not going to be able to tell the story of a photograph like you can. And people are going to be able to, they're going to be searching by words. And so you just got to keep that in mind, because it's a huge opportunity as an artist to be able to tell a story, connect with an artist, but also have content that a algorithm can pick up and then show your work to people that are looking for that.
Or so what you're saying is that like there'll be AI and algorithmic systems that will be able to look through OpenSea and see that someone didn't provide descriptions or an artist statement or anything, and they'll just kind of skip right over that. And the people that are using these algorithmic systems might be collectors that don't want to go through this vetting process, so they'll just ignore those.
Yeah, and even more so, it'll be literally just a matter of search. And somebody searches for photographs on cows, or photographs about motocross or motorcycles or people in a tree, and they do a search. Well, the search engine's going to go back, and it's part of the content that's going to search that algorithm, and how things will be classified is based off of the stories that you've told.
Yeah.
And so images without stories, without descriptions, they're not going to be picked up by those search engines that are searching via words. And so it's just really important to remember you're limiting the amount of exposure you're going to have. And it doesn't work that way that much now, but it's going to very soon. It's all changing. And so the Wild West, it's going to be tamed to some extent. And one of the ways that that happens is through some very advanced filtering and search software. It's the same thing that happened with the internet. And so it's just good for an artist to understand and recognize that by not doing it, you're going to limit the amount of exposure your artwork has.
Absolutely, and so Whale Shark Pro, he hit on that the other day recently too. And if you guys don't know who Whale Shark Pro is, I think he now is the largest collector of photography NFT in the space. He's said the other day, like, if you guys are on Foundation and you aren't tagging hashtag photo in your photographers on Foundation, you should start doing that so that we can more easily find you, because right now he's big into collecting NFT photography, and it seems like there's a lot of big whales in the space right now that are very, very bullish on NFT photography, because it's collectible. It's not just a PFP profile picture where you have to sit and watch floor prices every day to make sure that your investment didn't tank 80%. The photography and digital art, painting, sculpture, music, that those type of genres, I think will last longer in the test of time, even in ups and downs of markets, because those are things that people cherish. Photography, is a one moment in time. So, yeah, very good point on Foundation. You can add tags. You can add hashtags to your stuff. So if you're posting in astro landscape, make sure you have a landscape tag, astro landscape, astro photography, photo photography, all the hashtags that they're going to allow you to, because some of my friends, they just went on OpenSea and they posted their photos and they said, man, I don't know why my photos are great, but they just haven't sold. And I'm like, well, that's just the first step. Like, OpenSea is extremely saturated with images. So guys, we can't just go and put our photographs out there and expect them to sell because we went on OpenSea and we saw a bunch of 8-bit images and said, oh, well, if this sells, then my stuff's going to sell. It just doesn't work like that. You really have to be engaged with the community. The community wants to know who you are. They want to care who you are. They want to see that you're doing things to give back to the community, because if you're not, there's so much beautiful imagery out there. They're just going to go buy from someone else. So don't stop at that first step of just posting your images, because and obviously you guys didn't stop there, right? Because you're part of MetaJungle, right? You're part of, I see you guys in the one photography channel. I see you in the digital artist channel, general channel, and you guys are all sharing and helping each other, and that's all really great, guys. And so keep on that. So if we don't have anything else, I'd like to move on to I guess the Lives in Silhouettes. And Lives in Silhouettes is by I don't want to mess his name up. Let me try it here. Sreejitek, Sreejithek. That was my best job there of sounding it out. So he has the Lives in Silhouettes, and Lives in Silhouettes is a unique collection of 15 photographs, captures the moving lines and silhouettes done in a street photography approach. To me, it's a wonderful way to convey emotion, drama, mystery, and mood in a photograph in otherwise chaotic street. A silhouette consists of an outline and a featureless interior, with a silhouetted object usually being black. Sort of photography resonates with me in a great way, as I am reserved person who loves to keep things to myself, and most often others can spot only a silhouette of me. That's nice. I like that. I like that last couple of sentences there. Really, is artist online with us or no?
I do not see them.
This is that's okay. So he'll listen to the recording. So it's very hard for me to be critical about the work in this. It's really beautiful. A lot of these images are really beautiful. I would say iconic silhouette images. There's a couple where there's the dog image here. There's a dog image here. So I broke it down a bit on my own. This image here, it seems almost like everything's sort of in nature except this shot here, which I do like. The shot's very clever, but I don't know that this fits with the rest. So I mean, I sort of broke it down in Bridge, uh, well, in a way that that spoke to me. I guess the images that spoke greatest to me. And I look at this shot, and this guy's really covering foreground, middle ground, background, beautiful color, storytelling. He's got the shot with the fire. He's really capturing some really beautiful moments, right? This one, I think, was my favorite. This image sort of blew me away. If I can make it bigger here. I don't know. I think, oops. I think it's the resolution that's not allowing me to. Let me see if I can go back to. Let's see the images. I was looking at this one here. Yeah, I thought this image was amazing. I absolutely love all of the geometry. I'm a big sucker for geometry. All this repeating circles. The fact that both of the children are at the top of this ladder at the same time. This really mysterious woman walking by here, right? Just a gorgeous shot. Colors, golden hour sunlight. Just that would probably be the shot that I would pick up in the series that I really enjoy. This is another really interesting one. I'm gonna pull these up bigger. I just want to show you the order in which that I picked. The images. If I was to narrow it down and maybe break it into two different, I'd end on something like this. This feels like a really strong ender. You got the dog. He's got his tail up. It's just the dog's tail is just in a swirl there. It's just beautiful. The other dog's just looking out into the distance, and you have this. I don't know what you call this here. I'm not going to call it a castle. It's not a castle. Someone else. Is it mosque? I don't know. It's just beautiful out there. Then you have these trees, right, just coming in to even form that extra piece of this composition and the dimension of this photo. I mean, without these trees here, it'd still be a nice photo, but this just adds just so much more for me. Love the boats here, right? And then you just see the small person right out there, silhouetted, gorgeous shot. Pull up some of these on here. We can look at them bigger. I should have screenshotted from these larger size ones. I wish OpenSea would like just let me use the arrow and go to the next picture here. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but they really need to, upgrade on the usability here. This is really strange to me. This is a really dreamy sort of. I don't know if it's snowing here. This person's shadow. It looks like they're in a blue garbage pail, or I have absolutely no idea. It's really odd, creepy to me. I love it. Dreamy night. So yeah, I don't have much criticism on this work. I think it's really good. I mean, I don't think I think this is a good shot. I don't think it's as strong as some of the other ones, so I didn't include it in my final one. Like I said, this one here seemed a little bit more city life, street, which felt out of place here. The bird one, I think it's one of his favorite ones, and I know it's hard to capture a bird like this flying right past the sun, but it just wasn't the strongest image for me, so I didn't throw it in there. So like I said, I'm one opinion. Um, I did grab the ones that I liked, and I think it's important to this is another thing with OpenSea is that it doesn't allow you to post sequentially. Like if you wanted to start with this image and end with this image, I don't think you can do that because I've tried it and it doesn't work for me on OpenSea, and I need that to work for me on OpenSea. They need to make an update or something so that's available. Does anyone have any questions about that silhouette series? Let's take a look at the lives in silhouette. Yeah, we already read it here. So, 15
Yeah.
photographs. I would go ahead and write that they're one of one. Go ahead.
Oh, this is Alpha. I was just gonna say I bought the one of the monks. So
Wait, which one did you buy? This one?
Yep, I bought that one just now. So
Yeah, I would have bought it too.
I love that piece. It's
Yeah, I mean,
incredible.
yeah, exactly. That. I think I said that was my favorite piece in the class. That and this one. So that one and this one's my favorite. So, yeah, they're gorgeous pieces. This one. I really like this one too. It's really strange. Look at all the bottles. Look at the sunlight coming through, illuminating the blue and green bottles. Like this kid in a I don't know. He's in a tire. It's just really interesting. I mean, I would personally like maybe brighten this up a little bit and maybe punch the purples a little bit more. It's a little bit dark around the shadows. So if he's able to bring that out a bit more, but this guy's really talented. He got a superior eye for not just silhouettes, but multiple people in one silhouette. And really telling a story, and his ability to have the sun illuminate things in the picture, like illuminating, these hearts here, and how he illuminated the bottles in the other image. Uh, Really fantastic, So I think that he just needs the right eyes on his work, and this stuff is gonna sell. So I think that he's doing a great job. So I don't have anything else to say on this. So really, really good. Anyone have any questions? Comments, questions, comments? Yeah, exactly.
None yet.
None yet. All right, cool. So let's see. Covered man, curious, the curious bunch. Village of Dreams. Village of Dreams by The Cursed Child. All right, let's read the artist statement real quick because I honestly I wasn't able to get to reading the full artist statement here. I was really just crunched on time. Village of Dreams, a collection of photographs from my village in Caria. I really don't want to mess these names. I'm sorry. Over the course of 4 years, I captured these photographs from my village in the Kutna region of Kerala, India. The place is an amazing labyrinth of shimmering waterways composed of lakes, canals, rivers, and rivulets. In this collection, I clumped photographs from the hamlet where I live for the best part of my childhood. My grandfather was a rice farmer. I spent most of my childhood witnessing the scenic beauty of paddy fields, boat rides, and my grandmother's heavenly cuisine. Great writer. Watching over my younger cousins, I could recollect recollect similar experiences around the place, and I never thought these photographs would account as reminiscences from my past. Now, when I backtrack, it really is a village of dreams. All the photographs listed are shot on phone, and editions one of one. I don't think you need to tell us that they're shot on the phone. Honestly, I don't care about. I don't care about the tool that you used. Right, the camera is just a tool. A lot of people get caught up in this whole like the technical aspects. What camera to use? What lens? This and that. You know, like you said, you shot it on a phone, and it doesn't matter because you can make beautiful, compelling images on a phone. But I wouldn't even list that it was on a phone because that kind of lets people know that the resolution could be less than maybe they desire. I would just talk about the series, and that's it. About the artist. I'm not going to mess up his name. Is a photographer based in India who loves to capture natural landscapes and the life around him. So, could take a look over some of the photos here. Um, some really, really beautiful shots in the field, and some really beautiful shots of boats. I love this this shot from above, this boat shot from above, and this child in the water here, and lots of beautiful images. I would say some of them very similar, like these three right next to each other, with just a field and then a person in the middle, a field, person in the middle, field, person in the middle. Gets a little repetitive. So field, person in the middle here. So I kind of did a little edit. You can see what I brought it down to is Village of Dreams, and no, let's look at it in Bridge. So Village of Dreams. So where I opened up with this photo, I thought this was a really beautiful opener. I love this shot. I love the child's expression right at the front of the frame. I love that he's lined up with this like this little I don't know, this little line of water. I'm not gonna call it a river. It's a little line of water that heads out and leads out into the field. It really just shows the dimension of the space and goes into this, and another beautiful shot of it's a canoe out of the water. Really beautiful shot of a joyful child, and I absolutely love this bird's eye view of this. This is a gorgeous image. This is a cool perspective. I love how he got low and you've got the dirt, and it's all it's all frozen in time. Really, really beautiful storytelling photo right here. If I was to say that there was like one photograph that really told like a full-on story here, I would think that this is it. The wind blowing. It looks like there's a storm coming in. The kids shouting out into the ocean. It's just the colors are just beautifully muted and gorgeous. I love it. Love that shot. And another beautiful boat shot. So like there was a lot of these boat photos, and I picked three, and like if you see, I spread them out, right? I don't like to put things that are too similar next to each other. I like to open them up with stuff. And then I thought really nicely ending on something like that. I thought that was gorgeous. Looks like a child like out in the center there, with a nice foreground leading right out. It's just an absolutely beautiful sunset that just feels feels really hopeful. A real hopeful and beautiful sunset shot there. But if we go and look back at he's got a full set. It looks like of 20 images, and doesn't have any sales yet. And maybe if he curated this down, and I don't think this is as strong as some of the other ones. I really don't. Um, the if you want to show the scale of how small people are in the grand scheme of the landscape, I'm not sure that this is the best display of that. And I'm not crazy about the tree and stuff. And maybe this shot fits in there somewhere too. This is a beautiful photo too. So I think, yeah, this is gorgeous. And I don't know why I didn't include this, but her expression is just absolutely beautiful, and the colors are phenomenal. So I would include that in there as well. But it's just another case of just possibly editing down. You know, that's great too. Missed that one. I really like that. Beautiful pink on blues. So yeah, some of these just get better when you open them up large too. Some of these where the figure is just so far away makes it really need to be large. But this one doesn't even need to be large to stand out to me. I think it's beautiful even just like that. Any comments from Alpha on stuff maybe you would have kept in the series and that I took away, or do you think let's see that 20 images is right for this series, or maybe it's better off with maybe 10?
No, I completely agree with what you said. And I've talked to this artist in the past too about the size of the collection and just keeping it, trying to be unique with the pieces. He's an awesome photographer. He's got some beautiful pieces, but it's really easy to overwhelm your audience and make it way too hard to choose pieces, or just it's way better to have smaller collections and start selling some pieces. And even if you're planning on having a 20 piece or a 30 piece collection, put them out a few pieces at a time. It's going to make it way easier to sell. So I agree completely with what you just said.
Yeah, so if you just look quickly through the ones that I did pick, I feel like that tells a story, and I think that, it can be a lot more impactful to the collector to just see one after the other that they think, is really great, and maybe, like I said, I'm one opinion, maybe the ones that I picked weren't the greatest ones. They were the best ones for me. And, but I think that's one of the biggest things, and that's why I decided to take the time and kind of screenshot everybody's work and put them into separate folders and try to show people what their series could look like with a tighter edit. Okay, so
Yeah, and I think you could take those photos that you picked and you put those into a slideshow and make a video of it for your marketing, your collection. And I mean, it would be fire. It'd be amazing. And so if I was this photographer, I would do that for sure. And I'd make the piece and I'd start using it to I'd start putting that link out and promoting it.
absolutely, yeah, and then that's when I think the sales will come in.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, who is speaking?
This is Kaushal Vaishak speaking.
This is the artist.
I was trying to. Yeah, this is my work.
Good to hear from you.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, I was not able to connect to the mic. I was trying to reconnect, and I just got it right now.
Sure. So did you hear some of the stuff that we talked about?
Yes, I was able to hear, but I was not able to speak. I had unmuted myself, but I was not able to communicate.
Oh, I'm sorry that you were muted. So after hearing about what we said about maybe 20 images being too many, and some of the best images getting lost, and it's not just about the best images, right? It's about the images that could tell the story that you're trying to convey. Less is more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you could look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I picked 8 images. And I think 8 is a strong number. Maybe if there's 2 other ones that you simply can't let go, maybe 10. But yeah, I think I think that you can benefit from editing down to something smaller like this. One, it makes the collector feel that they're buying something that's part of something that's smaller, it's more limited. It's easier for the collector to create the movie in their head about what this story is about when there's less images that they have to kind of rummage through, trying to figure out the story. If you can sequence it in a way from, this is you always, when you curate a body of work, you always want to start strong and you want to end strong. So I
Yeah, I
thought that
get it. I get it.
I thought that this shot ended really strong about what we were trying to say here, and I thought that this shot opened strong. And maybe it's maybe there's two different shots that do, but you always want to start strong and you want to open strong, and you want those photos in the middle to fill the gap of what that story is about. All right.
Yeah, when you talked about this story thing, because on the last collection you said that there should be a starting point and there should be ending point. That's when I thought I should pick some of my best images on this. I'll do that. I think I'll cut it down to a collection of 10 or 15. I'll work on it.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
it was a really good suggestion.
sure. I mean, I'll, like I said, I'm one opinion. I'll just go ahead and I'll say I think 15 is too many. But if you can figure it out and you can lay it out in a way that it's not, because you have so many images where the subject is really in the middle of the frame, or they're really far out and they're tiny, and it's like you're trying to show the scale of the world to the person. And I don't think that we need that many to get the point that to get the point across about that part of the storytelling. So
Yes, yeah.
so
Thank you.
maybe look at 10 then, if you don't want to narrow down to 8 or so. Maybe 10 or maybe 12
Yeah,
for you
I'll
is
try
a
to add
sweet.
two more photos. I really like your pics, and I think I'll work on it, and I'll try to add two more photos and keep it to 10. I'll work it on in the coming days.
Yeah, so when you do that, when you get that done, tag me and an Alpha MetaGirl, and show us after you've done your editing and you've edited down, and we'd love to look at it so that we can
Yes,
we can see that you took the feedback, and you try to make a greater impact with your series. So we would love to see that.
absolutely, absolutely. I'll work on it. I'll let you guys know.
But you're a fantastic photographer. You know that.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, so don't stop. So we don't have anything else on Village of Dreams. Then let's see what we didn't
I
cover.
actually have a few pieces on foundation as well. Actually, only three photos I've listed there.
So you want me to look at those photos on Foundation? I can take a look.
Yeah, I would love to hear some feedbacks on it as well.
Okay. Well, I guess your Twitter's here, so your Twitter should have your Foundation, right? Are you having luck on Foundation? Anything selling? Yeah. Oh, I see.
I've sold
Oh,
actually
wow.
one.
Yeah, these are phenomenal. So it looks like you post your your top, some of your best stuff here on Foundation, right?
Actually, I minted these back in July. I was just new to this space, and I minted four photos on a single day.
Yeah, this is nice. Symphony of Rain. Somebody bought this too. That's gorgeous, man. That's great. That's really great. Floating leaf, wonderful. Right. So, what are you doing to get people to your Foundation page? So, like this shot here for 0.22, really beautiful, right? Like, there's a lot of photographers on Foundation that would have already sold that for 0.22 or more. So what are you doing to get people to go to your page. Are you active on Twitter? Do you showcase other artists' work? Do you what do you do for your own marketing? I guess I would say.
Actually, I'm more active on Twitter, so I like on these threads. I share my work on these threads, and and on some spaces I also attend some spaces and try to share my work. But usually I don't get. Uh, get a chance to share it because the spaces are so big, right? So I only got one or two chances to speak in the spaces, and
Okay.
that's yeah on Twitter, usually on Twitter and on some Discord channels as well.
Yeah.
But
So
do you have any suggestions like how is there a what's a better way to promote my work?
well, you talked about the chat spaces. That's a good one. You said you've only
Yeah,
been able to get into one. I mean, the thing what I do if I go into a chat space, I immediately request to be a speaker right at the beginning because normally it takes a long time before they even say yes. Even if you don't intend on speaking or you're just getting to listen, and at least you have that ability to speak if you want to. It's always good to be in. I would say in those like another thing like Discord channels that are really community driven like MetaJungle. Where they have the one of one photos where you can post your stuff and um, whatever you could do to get yourself noticed by other people. Quote like I said before, quote retweeting other artists and talking about their work and showcasing other people and whatever just being on social media and giving back to the community in a way and hopefully it gets people onto your profile so that they click on your foundation and see that you have a lot of good work here that should sell. So that's the
okay.
advice I have. I have two things on foundation. It cost me $600 something just to mint and post them on there, and I don't have any.
Yeah,
I don't have any bids, and I think it's my reserves at like 0.28. So I don't know that I'm posting anything on there anytime soon unless gas prices severely drop. And I'm sticking to what I've been doing, where I'm creating a collection with about 6 images on OpenSea, and I'm storytelling through the photographs, storytelling through the writing, and letting collectors know that they're wonderful pieces. And, that's it. But like the majority of the people that have brought attention to were just building relationships with people in the community, like just you know, talking to people on Twitter and being genuine and engaging in other people's work. And then, see, the power of quote retweeting is just really strong. It's like, even when I came on Twitter, I had only 300 followers. I was quote retweeting on some photographers that were just absolutely amazing or digital artists and didn't even realize that these guys had 60,000 followers or 100,000 followers. And then because I quote retweeted them, and I didn't just retweet, but I actually said something sincere about their work and what it meant to me. That it takes one retweet for someone that has 100K to retweet your work, and then all of a sudden the eyes are on you. So it seems like in this space, the more work you put in, the more value you add to the community, the more kind you are to people, the more it comes back to you. It sounds cliche, but it's a karma driven system. Web3 is just that way. Like I said, I was in Miami and I met all these people face to face, and they were like, after I had conversations with them and spoke like this, they said, "Oh yeah, you have the key. You're good. Like you're going to do very well in this space." Like everyone was on the same page about that giving back aspect. So once again, a lot of my friends just posted their stuff on OpenSea and then they just left for 6 months and they were like, "Why didn't it sell?" It's just because they're not involved, and that's why.
Yeah, I get the point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming up. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. So we have one. We have Survivor, Stay Golden, Blissfully Alone, and then we have Red Bull here. So we got four more. So we'll talk. Blissfully Alone. Let's talk about Blissfully Alone. This is by Blissfully Alone by Rishi Rathore, number 24. I don't know if he's in the chat room or not, but it's when I looked over it quickly, it's like it seems to me like it's about solitude. And see, Blissfully Alone is a collection of 10 one-of-one images from the state of Kashmir in India. A lot of people from India here. Clicked during peak winters. During the last 6 years of my travel, I've been particularly intrigued by objects or humans in solitude. There you go. It's about solitude. As I always relate to them in some way, capturing lone subjects in vast landscapes is something I love to be doing. Be a human, a tree, a house with no neighbors. I personally relate solo with solitude and not the close. Traveling solo is something all of us love doing. I don't know if all of us love doing it, but I do. All of us love doing every now and then. And I think when you travel solo, you learn a lot about yourself. Some of my best photographs have been when I'm solo. Some of my worst photographs have been when I had photographers with me because they've rushed me or for a distraction. In this attempt to evoke some of these feelings through some blissfully alone moments from my trip. So we got a collection video. Collector benefits. Okay. 20% off on all of my existing and future NFTs across platforms. So I guess he's saying if you own one, you'll get 20% off of all exist. So if you do you get 20% off of one of the ones that are in this series, because that's not clear. Existing, because that's existing. Something else in here is existing, and future NFTs across platforms. Okay. And so I looked over the images, and there was a lot of repeat things, like this tree here, and then this tree here, and then this tree here. Some images that didn't speak about solitude to me. So I sort of opened up in Bridge and did sort of the same thing here, blissfully alone, and I curated something like this. I think this was my favorite piece right here. I really I love what he's doing here with these bright whites, but you can see the difference between the gray and the white here. Difference between the snow and I guess what appears to be a foggy day background. I'm not sure how much he's doing in post here. It doesn't matter to me, but I love the minimalism. I love this shot. This shot about solitude just says so much to me too. And the comparison to the tree being alone and the man being alone, the juxtaposition of that. So I picked 5 images from this because I thought there was too many of the same type. The next one I like this man in the white with his backpack just kind of like lost in this snowy white scape of just mountain. Something I did like about this one too. I love the bright red on the pure white. Don't know who's in there, but I like the image. It's appealing to my eye, and I thought this was a great shot as well. Because it does speak to solitude as well. You've got the I don't know if it's an eagle or a hawk flying through, but really beautiful composition and story. I also really like the colors. They feel really true to nature. And then just kind of ended on this shot here of the red skier fog background. I think you could tell the story with just with these 5 shots. I don't go back to I didn't think this one was as strong. I think that the skier is just too fogged out for me. It's just not enough. I don't know this composition. I'm not crazy about the composition, but I rated that one. Nice shot, but I did like the other tree and the man shot better. I don't know if two belong in this series. That's a beautiful shot. It is. It's just that we just keep seeing this sort of same tree over and over again. So I went with the one that I thought was the strongest. I thought it was this one. But I'm also into minimalism, so. Yeah, maybe this could be included as well. I think this is really nice. I mean, I don't know how much negative space we need up top. I don't know if it's good that there's that much negative space or if there's not. I like it though. So yeah, I don't know if the artist. Let's see, is the artist Rishi? Are you here to talk about your work?
No, they're not on.
Okay, they're not. That's all I have for him then. He's not here. I need some community participation and some of the artists to talk about some of this stuff, right? So it would help me be able to talk more. That's what I have. So we'll move on, unless anyone else has a question from the chat. Okay. So this is Omar, Red Bull CPD World Finals. Okay, and I bought one of Omar's pieces last week from his scuba diving series, which I really like. And he said specifically in this, when he requested feedback, that he wanted me to be brutal, honest, and unforgiving or something. So I'm going to be just that, because I don't think that this series is nearly as strong as his scuba diving series. Let's read it. Did you miss Red Bull's CPD 2021 World Finals? As a photographer who only recently started to share my work with the world, I was surprised, amazed, and terrified when I was invited to be given an all-access pass to Red Bull's CPD World Finals right here in Egypt. I almost said no. I don't know if you need to tell the audience that you were worried about doing it or not. This is a reminder to never let opportunities slip by. Okay, series is limited to 10 shots each. Shot one of one. CCO release at purchase. Self-taught photographer and scuba diving instructor. Right. So scuba diving instructor makes me think that with his scuba diving photos that he gets down in the sea quite a bit, and that's probably why I think he has a lot of strong images in that area, bringing you shots to the surface. So, this is the shots from the Red Bull. And, right off the bat, when I look at these images, first thing that comes to mind to me is that was a one-day event. And he was there for that one-day event, and he shot some photos that day and didn't really go and revisit the culture of this, right? If and I'll tell you, I've tried to create a photo series out of a one day event of shooting something, and I've only been able to do it one time in my life, and it's very hard. So I don't know how many. If this is different days, it doesn't look like it. It feels to me that you shot these in one day, and I wanna see more about the culture of this rather than just tires spinning with smoke and up close portraits of the drivers. I mean, I think the ones that did stand out to me more than any of the others was actually the ones where we can see the driver looking at the camera, because at least with this I feel, even though I can't see his eyes, there's some odd connection that I could feel through that image, and as well as this shot, although I think I think it's a little dark. I think you could make this shot a bit more punchier with exposure and life. I'd like to see some of the guys outside of the cars, maybe celebrating. I'd like to see some bird's eye view pictures. Then you have some really tight crops, right? Like this shot here. Like I'm not necessarily sure of. I understand the composition. I mean, this is distracting to me. This piece here. I kind of want to see more of like what's going on around the car. I like the car, but you cut off half the car. Just being honest with you here, like you said. So, and then, you have too many aspect ratios. That was another question of yours. Yeah, it does bother me. All these aspect ratios like this here, it's sort of like maybe you didn't like what was going on above this, so you decided, to crop it, in a way. And it when I see a photo series and there's, so many different aspect ratios, it almost makes me think that, the photographer, was possibly being more lazy with the compositions and thought, later on I can crop this, when maybe the thought process should be more along the lines of like, how can I make all of these images and compositions, work the first time right off the bat without thinking about post-processing? Another thing about some of these shots is that there's, like this shot, for instance, maybe this shot deserved the crop, because I don't, the garbage can, I'm sure these garbage cans are used for them to, they probably drift around the garbage cans and stuff, but I mean, I think the shot is more along the lines of this. So maybe this one should have been a crop. I don't know how connected or interested you are in the culture of this, because it doesn't relay to me in the photos. And maybe, like I said, it's just one time that you were out there. But if this is something that you're truly interested in, then you should revisit this, and then maybe you will have something to break down into a series. But this photo also, I don't understand your crop exactly. So, you want to talk about some of that, Omar? Do you agree with me on any of this? Why is it that your photos of your underwater? Let's look at them first. Let's go look at the ones from your scuba diving. So it's deep blue shades or something, right? Let's take a look at some of the deep blue shades ones, where these images to me have like a lot more beauty and life to them. It almost feels like this. I bought this one, right? It almost feels like you just have you've either been down there more, and you've sat with this space, and you have a love for this space that does not convey to me in the pictures of the cars. Like, look at that. That's great. They're all working as a team. The composition is nice. I love all the water going up. So, I thought Omar was here, right? Yeah, Omar, you want to talk on some of that?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, what you were talking about, like for the Red Bull CPD, you're saying that you think that it would look better if it has like the people in it and doing their stuff and getting ready and all of that. I have like, yeah, I have another bunch of images of like exactly that. So I thought like maybe make one with the actual action happening, and then like maybe have a separate one with the like the preparations and like getting the cars rigged and people celebrating and the show and the dancing and like everything going on as like people wise.
Well, I think that all of those elements are what creates the story, right? I mean, so maybe they're, I'm not big on action sports photos. So, like I said, I'm just one opinion, but you wanted my opinion, so I'm giving it to you. So I would rather see a couple of action shots a couple of these guys getting ready. I would love to see a couple of portraits of these guys. Maybe maybe you're able to talk to them, get a portrait. Maybe somebody's holding a trophy and they're excited about a win. Maybe what about the crowd? I want to know. I want to know what the crowd. I want to see the crowd's reaction. There's so many elements that are missing here to tell a full story for me, that I think that if you're saying you have these photos, that maybe this is something that we can revisit.
Yeah, the reason I did it this way is because, like you said, there is the element of the crowd and the celebration and maybe someone having the trophy and then the action. I thought if I put it all in the same collection, yeah, it might say the full story, but then it might look like it's unrelated. Is it about the car drifting, or is it about the crowd, or is it about the trophy?
No, it's about the culture. It's about the culture. It's about the culture of what these guys do for a living. I'm not fully intrigued about just the idea that they race these cars. I want to see their personality. I want to see the crowd. I want to see the type of people that go to this crowd. I want to see their personality. I want to see more close-ups of the guys in the cars. I want to see some bird's eye view pictures. I think there's a whole different layer when it comes to documentary and storytelling photography that you have to show. Well, there's really no rules. I can't say you have to show, but I think it is much more compelling when you can bring all those elements together. So why don't you
mix and match of all the elements in one collection? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think then we can have a hit. Possibly we could have a hit if you have good images of all that other stuff. But right now I don't know how collectible these are. And if they are, it's got to be to a niche community that only wants to see cars drifting. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I could throw something, throw something in there. I looked at this collection previously, and I think some of the photographs are great photographs, but definitely to me it's lacking emotion. I don't really get any kind of emotional connection to it. And these shots look to me like promotional shots that you would take. And if I was Red Bull and I had you come and take these shots, I'd be thrilled. If I was any of these racing teams, I'd be thrilled, because these look like photos that you would, have your driver sitting out front beforehand in the pits, signing the photos and handing them out. And they look perfect for that. But from a 1-1 photograph that a collector is going to buy, emotionally connect with it, emotionally connect with you, the photographer, yeah, I don't see it. I see it more, it just has way more of a commercial vibe and feel to me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand that. That makes sense.
Do you have any other comments on it, or any other so was this a one-day event, or was this more than one day?
It was 2 days.
It was 2 days. Okay. So like you said, you did get pictures of other stuff, like the crowds and all that. So,
yeah.
Cool. So then, I don't know, maybe throw something together. See how this says 10 items, your series? Try to throw a series of 10 items together with those other shots, and remove some of these ones that are maybe that you think are the least successful, and add those in, and then sequence them in the way that it tells a story, and then we'll revisit it.
I have another question, right now. For the sequencing of the images, every time I open it, it has a different sequence. So is there a way to have okay, this is gonna be the first one, this is the second, have it lined up same
on
always?
OpenSea? I can't figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah, so honestly, it's not just me. Okay.
It's not just you, because it does that to my images, and it really hurts me, because I'm trying to tell a story from the first image to the last. So the only way I would say to do it is to number it, and hopefully the people realize that you're telling the story through the numbers. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, and this is so you put this a series. you put that this series is limited to 10 shots, right? So then I wouldn't put number 001. I would just put number 1 or number 01, you know? Because if you put 001, it looks like it's limited to like 100 shots or so. So you don't want to throw off the collector and think, oh wow, this is a tremendous series. They might not have read the description or something, and they should, but maybe they didn't.
Yeah, and if I could throw something in there, along with that about sequencing, right now you really don't have control because as things sell, depending on how people have their sort set, OpenSea just throws these things out there in whatever order. But the suggestions and advice Mike's been giving about sequence is important when you're designing the collection out, because in the near future, the artist, you, are going to have control of how these things are displayed. And I know this for a fact. And so if you put your collection together, really thinking of a sequence and you design it that way, it may not show exactly that way right this moment, but in the very near future, it will, and you'll have control of that, and it'll be really important. So thinking about that right now, and thinking about if there is a sequence and making sure that the collection makes sense is really, really important. And one thing you can do, we talked about it earlier in this AMA, is take those images out of the collection, build a slideshow out of it that you can use for promotional purposes. And that slideshow, obviously, you control what the sequence is.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Well, I hope you got something out of that, and it's great to speak to you, Omar.
Okay.
We have two more here. We have let's go to this one here. This is a Survivor series. This is submitted by MeanderQuest. Don't know their actual name, but it looks like it's a collaboration by Sup and Sam. It's digital mixed with photography, I believe. Let's say Survivor's Genesis collection by Sup and Sam. It's a collection of 12 images created across a beautiful European landscapes, which afterwards is pixelated and sorted by Sup to tell their story of survival. Sup and Sam started photography in their early 30s when Sup was struggling with clinical depression. It was a painful journey and being ridiculed by friends and family and self-hate to such a point that she tried to end her life. So the two of them started traveling to distant places to heal her. And that's a great way to heal, is to get out of your current space and element and see the world, right? However, the journeys made them fall in love with nature and photography. They fell in love. Fall in love with nature and photography. The combined love of photography, travel, and love towards each other saved her life. The collection showcases Sup's artistic expression and how they find the courage to fight against isolation, mental agony, societal norms, and yet survive against all odds. Collection will get exclusive benefits. Find out more here. Beautiful story, and beautiful images to go along with this. This is something very different. So these are landscapes, right, that are digitally manipulated, and I really, and I see a lot of people try to do this and not be successful at this, but I think these are really successful. I really love these. Colors are just gorgeous, and the abstraction, like you can tell it's a landscape, but there's just it's just like a splattered landscape. It's really cool. So you put a lot of these similar colors next to each other. I would probably, I'd probably put some of the blues in between them. Edge of Mind. Wild. Just wild. Looks like just a house or something just collapsing down a waterfall into another dimension. I love it. This one I think was interesting, but I don't think it's as strong as the other ones. It's just me. It's a little bit too different, I think, too. And this one, it looks like you kind of kept half of the landscape intact, and you went digital on the bottom aspect. I think it's a beautiful shot. I mean, I've never really seen this executed this well. In the series that I edited down, I did like this, but it felt a little too different from the other ones, so I didn't include it in Bridge when I when I edited them down. Love that one too. I could show you in Bridge. I think you have 12, and I think on Bridge I have down to maybe 10. I like them a lot. Maybe 9 or 10. Let's see. It was Survivor, right? Oh yeah, I loved this one so much. And this one. And this one. This one. That one. That one. And so I thought those worked really well for me, and the those other two were a little bit. I don't know if I want to say overdone on the digital aspect, right? No, not that one. But they just seem a bit more extreme in the editing process than the others, and I thought that the ones that were a bit less, like this, were a lot more beautiful to me. Is the artist on here for this? This was
Yeah,
Let me take a look.
I think they're trying to unmute.
Oh, okay, you can unmute them. They have any comments or anything, questions or something. And I would love to hear like the process and how the landscape is shot first, and then it's given over to the other artist, and then they digitally manipulate it somehow. But I love abstract, and I find them really visually appealing. Meander class, do you have anything? Are you hearing me speak about the work?
They're saying they're not able to unmute. I did unmute them, but you can try clicking on the microphone button to unmute yourself, Meander.
Yeah, like just to the right of your username, maybe click on that has a microphone with the slash through it. Okay. All right. Well, I don't have.
Oh, I think they are on a web browser.
Oh.
And there might be some issues if you're doing it through a web browser.
Okay. So there's no.
Hey,
so
this is the Alpha Trilogy. I just wanted to say about this collection. I love this collection. It's amazing. 100% agree with Mike on those two pieces. There's two pieces that don't seem to match the rest of it, which is the picture with the boat and the village. I assume it's a village.
This one, yeah, these two, right? Yeah.
don't quite seem to fit the rest of the collection. If I was the artist, I'd seriously consider taking those pieces out and using them as part of another collection. I mean, they're both amazing pieces. They just don't quite fit the rest of the theme. And I would also say I would have already purchased from this collection. And I would purchase right now, sitting here, except for all of the descriptions and the about collection descriptions are missing edition size. So everything else about it is absolute gold. Descriptions are amazing. Everything's complete, except for there's no edition size on anything. And so make sure you tag me if you get that fixed and add the edition in. So I'll be buying from you. I'd love to add this to my collection.
Yeah, that's you should probably make those changes if a collector wants to buy from you. It's a good idea. I'm glad you're on the same page. I think these are absolutely beautiful, and I'm glad we're on the same page about the two that I don't think fit, and not that I think that they're not good images. Exactly what you said, they fit in a new space of images that can also do really well. That after this collection sells out, that maybe they could drop that. So I don't have anything really negative to say about this, and you covered the fact that he has to add the descriptions and the additioning and stuff like that, and then perfect. So if the artist is still not able to speak, then yeah, I'll move on to the. I got one more, and then if there's any time at the end, if anyone wants to just ask any questions, or maybe there's somebody that that didn't get a chance to speak this week, and maybe we have time, and I can pull them up too. So let's move on to Stay Golden, the Fall Collection, and that's by Walla Savage Photo. Looks like collection of 35 images is at its heart of exploration of change. From the moment we first open our eyes, change is inevitable. Change isn't just a part of life; it's life itself. We see this fact echoed in nature each year. Green canopies erupt into colorful palettes of yellow, red, and orange. The leaves' hues traverse the color spectrum toward a finish line of muted browns. The trees shed their coats, changing form to prepare for the long winter ahead. I love the writing. Similar changes happen in all of our lives as we go along. They're also evident in my photography portfolio, which stretches back almost 20 years. Wow, I'm shooting 2 decades, longer than me. Old habits fade, new skills flourish, and the result is a woven tapestry of self-improvement. In this collection, I've gathered an eclectic mix of fall photos. It's my favorite season, after all. Yeah, it is a beautifully colorful season. I love fall, love the smell of fall. Part of the reason why I actually love living in the East Coast is those 4 season changes, because I feel like you get these new dimensions of life throughout the year. That it is nice to be in a place that's warm all year, but it's nice with the changes. The air smells differently, and people wear different styles, and the trees they inhabit new colors, and they die off, and it's really beautiful. So. All right, I'm sorry. Ranging from my earliest snaps to my most recent work, wide panoramas, macro shots, long exposure waterfalls, astrophotography, and all a part of my photographic journey. So 35 items and 6 owners. So one of the owners is always the collector, the person who created it. So 5 owners. So not bad. It traded at 1.3 Ethereum in volume. That's some good money. I like that. That's good. And did you write in here that these are one of one, and that it's not an ongoing series? I don't see that, so I would definitely, if I'm missing that, I definitely write that in there. I looked over a bunch of these earlier. A lot of images. I think there's definitely some standout images in here over other ones, and so like I did for everyone else, I sort of did my own little edit down, and so I'll go and show ahead. I'll go ahead and show kind of what I edited down to. See golden. So I really love this this reflection shot here. I don't know, there's something very nostalgic about it. Something that makes me want to escape out of the city and go stay in a cabin on that lake. It's beautiful, gorgeous waterfall. Love the light you have coming through. I love the sure use the tripods though. The shutter speed used here, showing the flow of the water. Looks like there's a bridge out in the background. Really kind of get lost in this image. Love the symmetry here. Love the leading line of the dock right out to the center there. Love how the end of the dock starts right where this just gorgeous reflection starts, and what beautiful colors in the background. So really good foreground, middle ground, background. Another really nice waterfall shot if you like it. Like the little element of the leaf there, a little orange element, because otherwise it's a monotone scene. Thought this was really beautiful too. Really good eye. Pay attention to your foreground, middle ground, background, creating that dimension. I love that. I love this humps back here. They're just so perfect. These little humps in the background here, and I love the reflections on this little lake here. Beautiful quality colors. I like the astro shot. It's just the only problem for me is if you're going to say that the series has astrophotography and it only has one within the series, it makes it stands out, but not always in the best way, because you everything else is just sort of like these daytime shots and then one astro shot. So maybe shoot some more astro stuff and fit it in. I do like the shot. Really loved this one with the winding road out into the foliage and the mountains you have out there. Although you have many different aspect ratios, but it's really beautiful. So we'll let that slide. This shot's sort of a cliche to me. I mean, I see this really often. People making these photographs though. For some reason this one works for me though. I do like it. I love the age in the leaf. Love how you can see all the lines, the imperfections, and I do love the depth of field behind it. I love how you did make it that focus. So I have, what do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 photographs. And to be honest, the Astro doesn't fit in here. But if you look at your series, you have a lot. You have a lot of photographs. So, and it looks like this sold, right? And it's a nice shot. But personally, for me, I don't like over editing on photographs, and that's just a personal preference. Like I said, I'm one opinion. It's just so dark up here. It's so not true to. So not true to life that I don't like how much it's edited, and there's no rules, but that's just personally. I also some of these, like this shot here, I don't find to be as strong as some of the other ones. I just don't find the story in this. I mean, the detail in it is okay, but it didn't grab me like the detail in the leaf. So I think that you're making sales, so which probably means that you're engaging with the community, and you're marketing yourself and building relationships and whatnot. And obviously you have some really good images here. Yeah, I would continue with the series, but I don't know that I like it to be this large. It would steer me away from collecting from it, because there's some ones in here that I really like. I really like this one. But it steers me away from collecting from the series, just because there's so many, and I think you got to fix your descriptions here. And the way you write is really good, but letting us know that they're workable. I don't know what you wrote in here. So hey, you made it. Hey, you made it. I'm glad you found this place. Sit down. We've got a lot to talk about. Enjoy the view. Everything you see right now and everything you know is changed. Okay, but what is is this a one of one piece? I mean, can you make 30 of these and just keep selling them? Like the collector needs to know those details, right? So, does anyone else want to weigh in on this series? Or if the artist here wants to talk about it? No? Okay.
Hey, this is Alpha Trilogy.
Hey.
I would say, I have a couple of comments to make about the series, and basically just about the advice that you're giving as far as collection size and making sure your collections aren't too big. Because I noticed that Steve had put in one of the channels a question about if that was stifling, I think, to the artist trying to dial the collection size back. And here's what I would comment to that. As an artist, you've got to do whatever speaks to you and whatever you're about, obviously. So if that's how you want to set up your collections, then that's definitely how you set up your collection, and don't let anyone change your mind on that. But the reason that it's really, really important to sell out your collection, and normally in order to sell out a collection, you've got to keep the collection size a little bit smaller and more focused. But the reason that's so important is because in the very, very near future, there will be new liquidity options for collections, and basically a institution or even an individual can go in and will be able to literally backstop a collection financially by putting in a mechanism to where, as a collector, a person that owns something, you don't have to sell it in order to get liquidity out of it. And that's going to be really, really important in the entire marketplace, because it changes things where, as a collector, you can collect something and you don't have to worry about the only way you can get liquidity from it is to sell it. There's going to be a provision in place to where on certain collections, there'll be institutions that basically backstop it and say, hey, instead of selling that, if you need short-term liquidity, we will backstop it for you. We'll use that as collateral. We will give you the liquidity you need in the meantime. But I know for a fact on those, it'll only be for collections that are sold out. So if you don't have a sold out collection, there won't be any kind of liquidity backstopping. And if your collection doesn't look like it will sell out, once collectors understand this and understand that, hey, they can put together a collection and they can get liquidity against their collection without necessarily selling it, my guess would be that a lot of collectors will start looking to buy things that are most likely to sell out at some point, so that they have that basically a safety net behind them. And so if you're building a collection and you're putting out collections as an artist, and they're huge collections and it's going to take a long time for them to sell out, or there's pieces in there that don't fit the rest of the collection, which may also make it hard for that collection to sell out, you're really hurting yourself, because your collection will not qualify. Not that somebody wouldn't want to do it. It won't be actually possible on a platform level for your collection to have any kind of liquidity backstop put in place. And so I just want to try and explain that hopefully better, so that artists can understand that this isn't somebody trying to, step on their creative freedom, because it's not the point at all. It's just that I'm actually involved in some of the teams making the decisions and working on that. I know for a fact it's coming. And I know for a fact that if a collection's not sold out, it won't qualify. So I just want to throw that out there. So hopefully it helps explain that better.
Yeah, thank you for that. And piggybacking off of that, so this collection on my screen, you guys could see my screen. This collection sold out just last night. And so it's a larger collection, but it sold out because of how cohesive it is. So I'll show you the collection. And he was selling them for 0.2, and now the floor price today is 3 ETH. So 0.2 to 3 ETH is a tremendous jump. That's what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 15x. So his work is now 15x above. So his floor price is 2.99, and he has 30 items. So I'm not discouraging people to not have 30 items, but this collection is about a testimony to love and desire, public intimacy, and the images are so cohesive that he can have 30 images within the series, because everything is about this public intimacy, lovemaking.
Can you hear me
And
now?
yes.
What about his captions, though? Because the whole point of my collection was the captions, I think, more than the photos.
Okay, so who is speaking? Is this the last? Is this from
Yeah.
Stay Golden?
Yeah, this is Steve. Thanks
Okay.
again for including me in this. I managed to get on the computer right at the last minute.
Oh, okay. So you said that yours were more about the captions, what, to each photograph? Let's see.
Oh yeah, they're every caption relates to each individual photograph. I
So
also wanted
some
to give you guys some advice. If you number them in a reasonable way in the titles, and you are posting them in order, you can sort by oldest and then copy the URL and use that in your promo materials, tweets, and stuff, and it'll show people the right order of photos.
Yeah, please DM me that, because I don't know if I'm going to remember exactly that, but I
I'll
would.
do
Yeah, please DM. Well, not DM me, but how about put it in? How about put it in the feedback game or the general chat for everyone? And tag me at least, please, and a few others. So you're saying that this description here, so some places defy change. Despite constant movement and constant refreshment, the places themselves remain unfazed. Seek these places out and go to them in times of need.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so this whole collection, it was intended to take the photo, the title, and the full description for each one and kind of savor them. And I know it doesn't say it, but it was created. I created this collection in August, or I released it on September 1st because of fall. So that was in the early days before people were really even doing many collections at all. So I will say that's why there's a lot of photos, and that's why I didn't know what the term floor price even meant. I still kind of don't, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. But I would encourage you to read through everyone, if you ever have time,
So
even without collecting.
Yeah, so the floor price is the median average price that the photos are now selling for.
Well, isn't
So
it just
your
the lowest price that someone else has listed, but it hasn't sold for?
No, it's the median of the prices that are listed. So, let's see, I just
Actually,
had that.
the floor price is the lowest. The
So
floor is
lowest?
the lowest price that's been listed by it, and it doesn't necessarily mean that anything is sold at that price. And so,
Well,
like on this collection that Mike's looking
this
at
is
right
fine.
now, the lowest price of one of these pieces is now 2.99 ETH, and so
okay.
that the price is determined. The floor price, which everyone likes to refer to, is literally determined by whatever the lowest listed price is at any given time. So it means if you went in to buy the floor, you're buying the cheapest priced piece in that collection. But that's became in the NFT world, it's something that collections are measured by, is by that floor price.
Does it make sense to measure artistic? Well, I know PFPs are artistic, but does it make sense to consider art and photography in the same manner as the traditional PFP floor price?
I'm not saying I measure anyone's art by a floor price. I'm saying that the marketplace measures it by floor price. So whether it makes sense or not, probably irrelevant, because that's what everyone in the space looks at is a floor price. When you talk about a collection, you talk about a floor price. You talk about which is what you could buy into that collection for. I don't know that it makes sense that anything is talked about just in relation to what a dollar amount is, especially when you're talking about art. But unfortunately, that's what happens. There's a floor price, and that's what people talk about. So if you got a collection, one of the first questions people are going to ask, hey, what's the floor price? That means, what could I buy into that collection for?
Oh, yeah, at the lowest cost. Sorry, you cut out. You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know if Alpha did he cut out or something.
Yeah, my phone's cutting out.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, I think we're coming probably towards the end here anyway. We're 2 hours in, but if anyone has their hand up or wants to ask any final questions or,
Hello?
Hi.
Hello, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
It's Supriya. Meander's Quest? Meander Quest?
Oh, Meander. Oh, hi. How are you?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good. This is your series, Survivor?
Yes, this is my.
Beautiful, beautiful. So are you the photographer or are you the digital artist here?
No, I'm the photographer. Actually, I and my partner, Sam. So we take the photos. He take the aerial photos and I take the landscape ones and I edited it. So
Yeah, so did you have any comments on any of the stuff that I said, or do you have any questions?
yeah, actually, I the one you said about the boat.
Yes.
Actually, at that time, I was downloading the app and doing this thing, so I couldn't hear it. And the thing that Alpha Trilogy said about including something, can you just please
Yeah,
like
sure. I'll go over that again. So
yeah,
this boat photograph, right?
yeah,
Really interesting, but a lot different from everything else in the series. So it
yeah.
stands out. And then there was this image also that is also really beautiful, but doesn't fit in my opinion, or well, Alpha's opinion either. That you can take these two photographs out of these two right next to each other, and use them for your next series, but I think you could benefit from not having them within this series because this series just tends to let's go back and see just tends to work in my eyes better without them, right?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Actually, I was a little bit doubtful about the boat piece also. So I was like, I
That's a
put it
sign.
in yeah, I put it in the last moment. Like I decided, okay, I will put it. So
Sure, and
it's a good
then
thing that you pointed it out.
yeah, and then so to touch on what Alpha was saying is that you should have listed descriptions that, well, it says here 12 images are one of one, but then I think in the descriptions, what do you have in the descriptions here? In your descriptions, story, title, projects, do you have listed in here that this is one of one? If not, list in here that it's also one of one so that the collector knows that no more than that is going to be created.
Okay. So I
If
have
you
to
look,
include that in the description also.
in all of these descriptions include that, and Alpha said that he's most likely going to purchase something from you if you make those changes.
Yeah, I will be making the changes today.
Yeah, right. I would be too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that you took the feedback from that, and it's usually a sign if you feel something about your own piece and you're kind of on the edge about it. That a lot of times there's a reason for that. Trust your intuition because it's a great superpower. For me, a lot. I have to trust my intuition on my own work like that, and sometimes you just pull it out and you look at it again and you revisit the work and you say, "Wow, okay, that was it. That's what's going to make this the award-winning series or something." Sometimes it takes that.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a few eyes on your work besides yourself and your friend. And that's what we're here to provide with the AMAs. We're trying to help all of you guys, because we're all, we're all in this together. This
Yes,
evolution of art right now, and this revolution that we're going through, where art is basically turning into a new currency through Ethereum, and when you're when you give back in this space, people put their ETH right back into the space for you, and then you put some people buy some stuff from you, and you put a little bit of your ETH back, and it's sort of like this cycle of artists giving to artists giving to artists, and we will hold that we will hold a lot of power in the future of the world now. So
Can I ask one question?
yeah.
My mic wasn't working earlier on when you said it. I'm
Yeah.
confused about the one-of-one thing. I thought all images in an OpenSea collection are one-of-one.
Sure,
That's
and
assumed.
yeah, and so while that most likely is the case, it's best to twice assure the collector that you're saying that you're not going to produce more than one. Because OpenSea is OpenSea, and you can put it on there, and there's nothing that says that you're not going to go somewhere on another website and put it somewhere else too. So I think we want to know that, not just OpenSea says it's one of one, but the artist is also making the commitment by saying it's one of one. Because once you transfer that piece over, let's say Alpha buys the piece, now it says on there that it's one of one. So if he sees it replicated somewhere else, you wrote it in there. So I think it's just having that safety net.
So it's more for incoming collectors who are new or unfamiliar. I mean, I've got a reputation and a brand that I stand by, and I'm confused about why it has to be spelled out. I mean,
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be written, but maybe it's an extra layer of reassurance.
If I can say something there.
Sure.
Every individual NFT is individual, but that doesn't mean that the image isn't going to be used again. And so there is a reason to put edition sizes, for sure. And in an OpenSea, there's all different types of edition sizes. That's why you can buy something and there's 11 of them, or 6 of them, or 12 of them, or 15 of them. Or if you buy a Banksy NFT box, and there'll be the same photo 500 times, and you're getting number 1, number 2, number 3. So they all have a different ID, but they're the same photo. One of one means that you're not going to do that. It's that one photo one time. And so it's very important to collectors. And it's not something that's just known in the world, because I have some amazing photographs that are a one of 500 edition. And so it's important that you say, and I see all the time photographers and other artists using the same thing and putting it out again. So it's important for a collector to know that it's one of one. And I also know for a fact that the new sorting and search software is going to be looking, it'll be comparing and looking for any duplicate images, which will then create problems for any collection that those images are in, from a reveal standpoint back to whoever was doing the search. And that if it does not have an edition size, it will not qualify for any type of liquidity options for as collateral. So I knew that for a fact.
That all makes sense. And so is there a way within smart contracts, or I guess it would have to be a convention by all the different NFT platforms, to have one of one, that phrase embedded rather than something we'd have to remember to handwrite? And that's a question I don't know the answer to.
Hopefully soon, all the platforms will just require people to, when you're uploading something, that it'll say what the edition size is. It would be way simpler Not sure why OpenSea has not done that, but I think it's coming in the near future, and I know for sure on the new platforms it will be part of it.
Good to know.
All right, well, cool. On that note, if no one else has any comments or anything, anyone who was not able to, get their work talked about this week, make sure to let us know in the AMA section, and you'll be put at the front of the list for the next AMA. Tomorrow I do fly out at 7. It's 7 p.m. now. I fly out at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to Joshua Tree National Park. I'll be there about 5 days shooting experimental landscapes. Not sure if I'm going to be able to conduct an AMA while I'm there because I'm probably going to be literally just trying to experiment with photography the entire time. But I would be willing to on the day that I get back, so we can make a new date if you guys want to continue with the AMAs. I think it's very helpful for all the artists. I think it's helpful for even myself and everyone included. So I do appreciate all your guys' time and your guys' submissions and your ability to take constructive feedback and yeah, and I'm really happy to do this for you guys. So appreciate it.
And I'd like to throw in there, thanks, Mike. The MetaJungle team definitely appreciates the time you've taken to do this, and anyone that's spending time just trying to help their peers, it's a good thing, and it says volumes about a person and about who they are. And I believe strongly in karma, and I think that the number one way to be successful, and really the fastest path to success, is always helping other people be successful. So again, want to thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that's attended. Any feedback, and looking forward to the next one.
All right, wonderful guys. I'm gonna eat some dinner and pack for Joshua Tree. And so yep, I'll see you guys. I'll still be tweeting a bit, and I'll see you guys in the channel. And hopefully you guys got something great out of this. And thanks to the MetaJungle team. Thanks Alpha Trilogy, Goon, and everybody who makes this possible. I will end there, guys. Thank you very much. And the recording we should post that on YouTube again. Looks like the last one got about almost 4,000 views, and so the bigger family we can create over here, the better. All right.
Thanks again, Mike.
All right. Bye bye.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.